Welcome back to this week's YouTube Live and the podcast. My name is RD. Welcome to the Waterfowl Den. Glad to have you. Testing out a new piece of software to help with these podcasts, the YouTube Lives. So hopefully it goes good tonight. I'm not rightly sure, but we're going to do the best we can. I did a little practicing yesterday on streaming and just setting it up. Totally different software. I got a total different computer, and like I said yesterday, I am trying to improve the overall quality of the YouTube lives and the podcast. So hopefully everything goes good. Hopefully you can hear me good. So hopefully everybody's having a good Wednesday night. Me personally, I'm ready for bed. That thunderstorm that rolled in last night around 2-3 o'clock, man, I thought there was a war going on outside. I mean, it looked like I didn't know if I needed to put some techno music on and go outside and dance. I thought I was in the club. It was lightning so bad. It looked like 1,000 police cars out in the yard. I mean, it was crazy there. But we all survived. Lost a couple of tree limbs. There were definitely some really bad weather in Mississippi, Arkansas, and Tennessee yesterday. So definitely some wicked tornadoes going on. I know I made a prediction last week on some softball. Looks like out of some of the teams that I picked, some of them are still surviving. I lost one that I really was shocked. We'll get into that in a little bit. Talking ladies softball. The men are just starting their regionals. So college men basketball is a little too early to start talking. Might start talking about them next week because, there ain't no hunting going on right now. So it is definitely starting to warm up outside. We're going to definitely start fishing soon. Memorial Day weekend is this coming weekend. So there's going to be a lot of people at the river and lakes and stuff like that. So definitely, if you go to the river, don't drink. And if you do, don't drive a boat. I don't want to lose any potential subscribers. So, it's going to be hot. Well, actually, this year it's going to be a little bit cooler because that storm that blew in last night is going to make it a little bit cooler. So, just be safe over Memorial Day because if you go do something crazy, you won't make hunting season. So, hopefully everybody's having a good week so far. Like I said, I'm still learning this whole new software, and hopefully it's streaming good. So if there's anybody, I know a couple people's watching, so if somebody could type something in the comments so I can actually see if the comments are reading, that would be very helpful. Also, I don't know with this software how much of a delay there is between when somebody types something in versus live. The other software that I was using, it was about a 20 to 30 second delay. So who knows? Pull up some information here that I can share out to people. Like I said, tonight, weather-wise, looking pretty daggone clear, especially around us. Ain't a whole lot going on right now. I mean, after the last couple of days, man, there has been some really bad weather. Especially yesterday, Jacksonville, man, there was a ton of tornadoes through here. around Knoxville, Nashville, with some pretty bad weather yesterday. So pretty much there's some rain going on up in there. The next rainstorm, possibly tornadoes, is going to be coming over here near Wyoming, Colorado, possibly this weekend. So if you got any plans Sunday and going into Monday of Memorial Day here in Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina, we might actually get some rain on Memorial Day. Way it's looking, who knows? Like I said, right now, Sunday, 40%, 70% in South Carolina on Monday. So that's going to change a lot of people's plans. Some of them hot dogs and hamburgers may be wet dogs. So just letting you know that this coming weekend for Memorial Day, if you're anywhere over in this area, we got chances of rain come Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Pretty good chances. Like I said, if you're out in the middle of the country, your chances would be Friday and Saturday. So give y'all just a little update on the weather there. You know, they always say the older you get, the more you want to watch the weather. And man, I love watching the weather, and I'm telling you that the past weeks have been terrible for tornadoes. Man, I mean, they've just been devastating some pretty populated places too. The death tolls are crazy, and I mean, it's just heartbreaking. You know, you watch these tornadoes just appear. I mean, you see the rotation, but it just appears, and then it's blowing the people's houses and destroying everything. I mean, it hurts because these people, let's say myself, you know, you spend all your life saving up, building a house and all that, and everything you got is gone, which, you know, not going to get biblical there, but it is one reason why we shouldn't put so much stuff on this earthly stuff. But it is still sad when you see, and they're interviewing people and this community where they were just interviewing this woman. On one side, she was not happy. I don't want to say she was happy. She was, I really don't know how to describe it. Her house was saved. It tore a little bit of shingles off, but her house was saved, and everybody else in the whole neighborhood was completely leveled. So they are using her garage to store all of the food and water, and she's like, I'm sad that mine survived. She's like, I don't even know how to say that. She's like, everybody else's is destroyed, and here's my house. How am I supposed to be kind of excited about anything? Or, you know, she was a mess. That's pretty much, I mean, how can you say, man, I'm glad my house didn't get destroyed, when everybody else in your neighborhood has absolutely nothing? And she's turned that into a good thing. They're storing all kind of stuff at her house. I mean, it was a great story. You know, a lot of these tornadoes and stuff, it's like small communities. It's always like North Carolina. When the rains came, then it's the small communities always coming through, helping each other out. They're not relying on, you know, big government. But it's kind of sad. It definitely is kind of sad. It does hurt. So, talking about softball where I left off earlier, let's throw this up on the screen here. Well, I have it pulled up over here. There we go. So, man, I went through last week and I picked what teams I felt like, because I got it wrote down. There's no trickery. There it is right there. And I even got my final four down there. I guess it ain't really Final Four. That's more basketball, but you know what I'm saying. The Final Four down into this bracket of college ladies softball. I have my four that I picked here for the bracket 2, and then I went ahead and picked my finals. And you know, the odds of winning a bracket is very, very low. And mine's already shot. So I completely lost my bracket. So let's start where I picked last week. So starting up here, I picked Texas A&M. They were ranked number 1. They got slaughtered. I mean, it was a slaughter. They got knocked out. They got eliminated by a team that I would have never put on my paper. I don't even know if they were even ranked. But hey, it is what it is. Now, in this section, I did not pick Oregon. I didn't pick any of them in that section because either I overlooked it or just didn't pay it no attention. I definitely picked UCLA. They are a great contender every single year. You know, I had to pick my Lady Gamecocks. Did I have my Lady Gamecocks down there in the Final Four? Absolutely not. I do hope y'all ladies pull it out. And I hope, you know, just like Texas, y'all can take down the ranked teams. But, ooh, I don't know. We shall see. I definitely picked Florida State. I didn't pick anybody in that bracket. I did pick Ole Miss. I picked Arkansas. I got Florida down there. Let's see. Is Georgia on my list? There's Florida. I do not have Georgia. I didn't pick Georgia. So who would I have picked? Maybe. I don't remember, but I think I picked South Carolina's sister college down there. Definitely picked Clemson, which, yeah, I mean, that hurts to pick Clemson. And I picked Texas. And I picked Tennessee. I did not pick Nebraska. And Alabama and Oklahoma. So in my Final Four, so if I was filling that bracket out right there, last week I picked Texas, Florida Gators, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. So we already know Texas A&M, they're gone. So that leaves me Florida Gators, which is here, Oklahoma, which is down here, which I did not pick them for my final. I picked Arkansas. So in my final bracket, I picked Texas and Arkansas. So since my Texas is gone, which I'm really not a Texas fan, but since I picked that only leaves Arkansas. So that's going to be very interesting to see. So today is the 21st. Starting tomorrow is the start of the Super Regionals. Let's see. So tomorrow you got Oregon and Liberty. They're going to play at 10 p.m. And that's going to be in Oregon. So I will definitely be asleep by the time they play at 10 o'clock p.m. in Oregon. The 24th, 7 p.m., I might watch that one. Then we got Oklahoma and Alabama tomorrow. No. Today is the 21st, so that's Friday. So Friday, you got Oklahoma, Alabama. That's probably a really good game. Also Friday, Florida and Georgia. Really probably going to be a really good game, and that's going to be at 11 o'clock. Arkansas and Ole Miss. That's probably a really good game. Florida State and Texas Tech. Yeah. Texas and Clemson. Clemson put up a heck of a fight to get into this battle. When a team is hungry to win, there is no telling. I still don't think they're going to make it. You got Tennessee and Nebraska, and then South Carolina against UCLA. Now, I feel like UCLA is typically up there, a strong team. They're going against my Gamecocks. And I had both teams picked on my list, to finally make it to a bracket. Not the last four and definitely not the finals. But I did have them on my list. So, I don't know. Definitely going to have to put formulated Gamecocks. They're ranked 8th going into against the number 9. So, it's going to be very interesting. And then the World Series will be the 29th through June 5th and 6th. And that's going to be out in Oklahoma. So, come Friday, when South Carolina is playing UCLA, I had to slow that down. When they are playing, they are going to be playing in Columbia. So, if you're working in Columbia, South Carolina, come Friday, it's probably going to be packed. I'm jealous. I would love to go. Not going to lie. Can't play hooky because I got a thing for school for my daughter. So I kind of got to be there. And there's absolutely no way that I could get back by the time the game ends. But that is really cool to see that. Clemson is playing in Texas, so for the other people in South Carolina, y'all gonna be playing in Texas. I mean, Texas versus Clemson. I just don't feel that one. That's gonna be pretty tough. Like I said, Oregon. Before I would have picked Oregon, I might have picked them, but now seeing that Liberty took out the number 1 team, so I'm going to keep my original bracket here because this is my original. And we're going to look at these next week because we're going to see. So I'm going to go with Liberty. And then, I'm going to have to go with my South Carolina Gamecocks. I'm definitely going with Florida State. Arkansas and Ole Miss. Since I picked Arkansas to be in my final, I'm going to have to go with Arkansas. I definitely think Oklahoma is going to beat Alabama. I'm pretty sure Texas is going to beat Clemson. And I definitely think Florida is going to beat Georgia. So, there we go. There's my next week's predictions. Like I said, we shall start doing the guys baseball. Probably we may look at it next week. Like I said, they're still a little bit out. Thank you for the comment there. I definitely glad to see that the comment is working. So, like I said, this is a absolutely new program. I am learning where everything is. Is definitely harder to use. I'm still learning features like, hey, I can zoom up on the page from over here. I got to make a video of for y'all to see how this all works. There's 3 screens. I got 2 screens here. I got a screen in front of me. I got multiple cameras. And like I said, there's a whole lot going on in this podcast room for sure. I got some new sound features. You I'm trying here, so thank you. I greatly appreciate it. That is definitely something new. But after my Gamecocks win, they're only going to win the first week. I mean, I'm not optimistic enough to think that they're going to the finals. Would I like it? Yes. I just don't foresee it. But hey, remember, I was going to say a couple years ago, because it's been more than a couple. It's been at least 10 years when South Carolina boys baseball won all them. They had the fish, and I mean it was crazy. They always said that team wasn't a good team. They never did play, but man, when they got to the regionals, they just turned it on. I mean, it was crazy for sure. So maybe the ladies softball could pull it out. Who knows? But like I said, I'm still learning. I've completely changed my computer. Like, I went from a Windows computer over to a Mac. I've been using a Mac for the deer streaming camera, for the 24-hour camera that I got on the channel, where you can see live nature out in the woods, the raccoons, the squirrels, the birds. Man, I filled up the bird feeder, and literally a squirrel went out there and dumped the whole bird feeder. But it was pretty cool because, and then I don't know what day it was because I go back and watch it, but it was pretty cool to see some deer walk up and eat the bird seed. I don't know if they were eating the corn out of the bird seed or what part of the feed that they were eating, but there's corn for the deer to eat from the feeder anyway. But it was pretty cool. But yeah, that daggone squirrel jumped up there and just turned the whole bird feeder upside down. So thank you, Mr. Aggravating Squirrel. My mother loves the squirrels. She loves them all. And since she ain't here to comment, she can't argue that fact. But I'm sure she's trying to type. She does not like the squirrels. The squirrels mess with her feeders, and she does not like the squirrels. Which I should be able to probably pull that thing up right now and show y'all. If you have never checked it out, I might not can reach it. Oh, you know what? I didn't even switch over from wireless. Yeah, we're still streaming over Wi-Fi. That was a mistake. I probably can't get the quality that I was looking for over Wi-Fi. And honestly, I don't know what would happen if I switched over to the network at the moment. So we're going to save that to the end. I should have switched over to my hard line that I hooked up. So I honestly don't know what would happen if I switched mid-stream. But I was going to pull up the live camera of the deer feeder and nature. It has sound. It's really cool. So after this stream, that's typically when I turn that stream back on, just because instead of streaming two lives at the same time, that is why. So maybe if I don't drop connection when I switch over towards the end, I may show that. But for the time being, I can't. So live and learn. That's what I'm doing. I'm learning. I'm definitely learning. So I could see somebody else jumped on. Like I said, tonight wasn't going to be a long one. There's not a whole lot going on right now because we're in between hunting seasons. My grass, millet, wheat that I've planted is looking extremely pretty out there. I mean, with all this rain that we've been getting and the heat, it's looking amazing. That's all I can say. I hope that it continues to go that way. I don't know, but I hope my millet does good this year for dove season. This Saturday coming, I got a video of the garden and getting the garden prepped. We put down plastic. We planted. And I mean, we planted. So it's going to be a pretty good video this weekend, especially on the garden side of the channel. So definitely Saturday, look out for that. Got some video in there of my wife explaining some stuff that, you know, the seeds that she grew, which we already got it already in the ground by the time this video was recorded. That was probably 2 weeks ago. I need to now update that video, so by the time you watch it, the tomatoes are really little and there is no beans. As of right now, there are beans coming up really good and the tomatoes are looking amazing. I ain't gonna say because she did technically help. She brought the T-post and I drove the T-post in the ground, and then we put up the cattle panels. And she's got these new clips that I thought were really interesting to clip the tomatoes to the panels. Typically, we usually, what we've done in the past, we have a T-post and a T-post, and we run a string across it. We run the string and then come back, and the tomato grows in between the string. So when the tomato goes from here to here, you got to run another string, and then when they get taller, run another string. But this year, she's got these clips, and they're very interesting. When I say she's got tomato plants, when y'all see this video, I am not making it up. There is at least 150 tomato plants. There is 500 plus beans, another 100 of something else that I can't remember. I am not making this up. We have a massive garden. It is looking really good so far. I haven't had to water it. Hopefully it just continues to grow. What are we going to do with all them tomatoes? I have no idea. But it's a lot going on out there in the garden. And so, you know, we garden so we can hunt later. So that's how it goes, you know. I help in the garden and she helps during waterfowl season and turkey season. So it's a good trade-off. She says I just like playing on the tractors. Sorry about that. It's highly possible. But this year, we rolled out the plastic. As of right now, there is no grass in the garden. I'm kind of wondering if it's going to grow in between the plastic. You know, it was funny. There was one piece of dirt. I mean, like that big, that fell onto one of the tarps, and grass started growing on that piece of dirt. And literally, all I did was pick it up. Like, I thought it was through the plastic, and I just picked it up and just threw it across the fence. It wasn't even rooted. It was literally that little piece of dirt, and it was pretty crazy. I mean, it was funny that, you know, they say dirt, all it needs is just a little bit of dirt and grass to grow, and that is a true fact. But like I said, as of right now, it's looking really good out there in the garden, and I really can't wait to see how this year compares to last year. Hopefully, all this rain that we're getting continues on, you know, through summer. Or we definitely don't want all this rain and then it just burns everything up. Hopefully, don't have to use the sprinklers. In this video, you will see that I have the soaker hoses up under the plastic, and that's also a first. So if it does dry up, maybe that's going to be beneficial to the garden. I don't know. Like I said, just like this software, just like the computer, everything's a learning stage. And if you ain't learning, I guess you dead. That's what they always say. Every day you learn something. Sometimes I just forget in the wrinkle. I'm learning something, but I'm also forgetting something. So I don't know which one it is, but definitely missing a couple of my viewers tonight. There's usually 2 on. They come on very regular, and I'm not sure where they are this week. So crazy. Hopefully they're all right. They probably, I know one's been getting a lot of rain, so ain't no telling. So look out for that video. Like I said, I'm not going to go too long tonight. I don't have a whole lot going on. Like I said, it's in between. It's fixing to be Memorial Day weekend, which is, busy, cooking out. Like I said, it's going to be pretty much raining probably Sunday and Monday. So that's probably going to hurt a lot of people's plans. But definitely be safe this coming Memorial Day. Now's the time that I usually go start skeet shooting. So definitely going to be some videos of skeet shooting. Like I said, fishing, since my son is done with his sports. Schools, I think, is out next week. They're pretty much watching video games, watching TV, basically playing to finish school out. Free days, water slides, ice cream parties. So school's pretty much over. I know a lot of people be going on vacation. So definitely graduation. There's going to be a lot going on in the next couple of weeks for sure. So y'all definitely be safe out there. It is definitely a busy time of the year. So the next couple of weeks are going to be busy. And like I said, I hope to get some good fishing content coming up real soon. I know that we have a date scheduled to go to Santee, maybe catch some catfish, but you never know how that goes. Santee, if you never been to Santee Cooper, that is a massive lake. I mean, massive. It is separated by the upper and lower and has a channel in between. And awesome duck hunting. Probably not as good as it was back in the 80s and early 90s because they have killed a lot of the grasses that supposedly gets in the turbine, which I'm sure it does. But then it also doesn't help the ducks and the fish. And people don't want them around their dogs. So it is what it is. But Santee is a massive water system. Starting up at the Congaree when that comes in. And I can't even think of what in the world's where them trees and people kayak. Brain went dead. It's up in the swamps. It'll come to me later. What in the world? Now I gotta look it up. I hate when I have a moment right in the middle of, and as soon as I look up that sparkleberry. See the sparkleberry? Yeah, sparkleberry. Big time kayaking. I've already seen videos where the water's up so high, people are actually getting down in the swamps and getting to go further back into the cypress trees. Definitely be safe because now is snake season, and pretty much when you bump a tree, you're probably going to bump a snake out. So snakes and alligators are real big down in the swamps, so definitely be safe if you're going out that way. But yeah, it's that time to get out on the kayaks, enjoy the water. It's time to go hit the coast, maybe do some saltwater fishing. So y'all be safe. Like I said, I want to swap over. I really did not mean to start this on Wi-Fi, because if you know, Wi-Fi is definitely not as fast as hardwired, and maybe you could care less about IT stuff. But I meant to do it on the hardwire so that I would have good quality video to compare on YouTube, and I successfully failed. But hey, it's called learning. So I am going to switch over to wired. If it drops, I'll see y'all next week. If it don't drop, then I will probably show you the deer picture. Maybe not. Maybe it don't work. I don't know. But we're going to try it. So if you don't see me after I switch back over, y'all have a good week. If it does, we will conquer that the where it goes. So let me see. All right, here goes nothing. Did I lose anything? Maybe I'm still connected. It looks like I'm still connected. Maybe somebody comment and see if I'm connected, because I feel like I'm connected. So let me pull up that deer camera. I had it pulled up beforehand. Alright. Let's see if I can pull that deer camera up. See if anything's on it at the moment. May not be nothing on it. And like I said, I may not be able to pull that up from where I'm at. Never tried it. And it doesn't appear that I can. Oh, look. Yeah, I can. So let me log into this thing real quick and see if anything's on there. Nope, total darkness. So let me throw this up on the screen here. Wonder what would happen if I dropped it in this browser. Would it work on this browser? Let's see here. Hey, good. Thank you. Thank you for commenting. That way I know I didn't lose my connection. That was a good test. So Safari, I cannot pull the camera up, but this one I can. I wonder if I can make a full view so I can show y'all. All right, let's see. There we go. So here's the camera. Right there is the bird seeds that it was a nice feeder. It was completely full, and it was dumped all out. So this camera, like I said, if you never watched it before, it is 24 hours a day, unless the internet goes out or if the power blinks. I can't do nothing about that. But it streams 24 hours a day. I got all kind of greenery growing. There's some clover. There's some turnips. There's some grasses. I need to plant probably in the next couple weeks. I probably will start putting some stuff out for getting ready for deer season. I don't plan to hunt this because obviously it's where I'm recording from, and it's pretty cool to bring in, hey Jeff, I was wondering where you was at. So typically right here, this feeder throws out corn 2 times a day, so usually the raccoons show up. But there was some pretty nice does the other day on camera for sure. There was one buck just starting to, show some antlers growing back. There is a decent size 7-point last year. It's going to be interesting to see what this year's rack looks like. But it's too soon to tell if that's the big one or not, or if there's a couple little ones running around. I don't know. It's pretty interesting. Not sure what we might see. Did not see a turkey. I really was hoping this year to see a turkey. And to tell you honestly, with all the raccoons, that could be the problem. Raccoons are notorious for taking out eggs, turkey eggs. Raccoons definitely hurt the turkey population really bad. So could be the reason I didn't see one. And to tell you the truth, there could have been 1,000 turkeys walk by in the daytime while I'm at work or whatever, and just never saw them. So there's also that. But Jeff, hope you're doing good out there, man. You been getting any bad weather? I think Friday, Saturday you might get a chance of some bad weather out your way. Man, I tell you, I'm ready to go to bed because it really bad out there last night. Yeah, there's 2 types of blocks out there. There's a salt lick and then a mineral block. I know that there are periods of time where deer do not use salt blocks. I think, and I cannot remember the when it is time, but I know it's maybe a little bit before rut kicks in. I cannot think of whatever that is on the back of their leg that changes colors. I think that is the time when they really need the salt and the minerals, right when the does are, breeding. And I do know that there is a period of time where if you do have a salt block, deer tend to go to that block more often than, let's say, January, February. I'm pretty sure around January, February, they don't usually lick the salt that much. There is a period of time, and maybe I can Google that real quick, because I cannot think of what that is, like a brown. I don't deer hunt. Honestly, that's going to be, I ain't even going to lie to you. I don't deer hunt. I sit in the woods, and hey, Jay, you forgot about me. Jay may know. Jay's a decent deer hunter. Jay, I was looking up. Jeff asked about the salt block on the deer cameras. I know that there's a period of time where deer like salt and they need it for nutrition. What is the brown spot behind their leg called? I cannot remember it. But I am not a deer hunter. I typically hunt anything that has wings. And after this turkey season, I'm not rightly sure I could say I'm a turkey hunter, because I still have both of my tags at the end of the season. Now, granted, I did get one in Texas, and I did put my buddy on one, but I didn't get one in South Carolina this year. Yeah, Jeff says we had a tornado south of us 2 days ago. Finally got some rain over the weekend. Man, we've been getting hammered in rain. Hammered. You know, Jeff, you called it Salt Lick, and they also call it Salt Licks in Google. Around here, we call them salt blocks, which about the same thing. I mean, it's really tomato. It's all about where you're from. You know, we're a little southern, so you know we might say it a little bit different. Per Google, they typically like to do it. They like them during the spring and summer months, and that's what I was thinking. When they consume green vegetation that is high in water content, it's because they need a sodium intake during this time. You know, just like humans, you can't drink water nonstop every day and nothing else. We need sodium and salt in our water, which pretty much is electrolytes, to replenish our bodies. Jay, I don't even the Nightbot Jay said that it gave you a warning on something. I don't even know what it gave you a warning on. Oh, posting a link. Let's see. Well, I can't see what it says, but it doesn't even look like you posted a link. Who knows? Stop posting links. The Nightbot was fussing at you there, Jay. I'm trying to look up, unless one of y'all commented, interdigital or tarsals. I think that is what that is called. That's what I was trying to explain. Tarsal glands. That's exactly it, Jeff. Jay, thank you. Too many J's. So these glands are like on the back side of their legs, and right there you go. And I am not a rocket scientist or anything else. I am not even attempting to pretend that I know what I'm talking about, but I definitely can read it. But I know that it definitely has a lot to do with what they're eating, their habitat. It's got to do with their scent, the health of the deer. I know a lot of times people post, especially with these new cameras. I mean, these new trail cameras, you can see a lot. Come on, why didn't it change cameras? I'm over here looking at a different camera than what's on the screen. Pull it back up. It still didn't pull it up. I want this one. This is what I was telling y'all. I was trying a new software, and definitely can't switch between the two. But what I can do, I can pull that up. How about that? So what I was trying to show is the glands, and people post them, and people really can tell, you know, hey, this deer's sick, or this one's this. A lot of people can tell a lot going on, and you know, Jay, we probably need to have Dr. Deer on, man. He probably could. Dr. Deer probably could look at one picture and tell us, you know, what in the world that deer's probably been eating. But it's all about, you know, their health. And, you know, that's what I got that out there for. I'm trying to, you know, one, I'm trying to get deer on camera. Two, it does benefit them tremendously. in that live there is also a swimming pool. When I know it's going to rain, I go out there and dump it so that it's going to fill up with fresh water. Because there I cannot get a water hose out that far. And if I could, it would not have a whole lot of pressure by any means. Jeff says, scroll by the night bot. Honestly, the night bot does, on the live stream, the night bot runs all the time. It will filter out cuss words, and I know Jay personally. I know what he wrote was not a cuss word. It flagged it as a link, and I don't know. But that night bot is like, if you say hello, it'll reply back and be like, hello, welcome to the channel, stuff like that. It just helps moderate some stuff. It can yell at you. So whatever Jay did to think it did something, it yelled at him. And maybe this week I will deduct his pay and take its free time away from him. Yeah, my mama said they're just like liquid IV. My mother wasn't feeling good this week, and I told her, I said, go get you some Pedialyte, because like I was saying earlier, we all needed some electrolytes in our bodies. And I know she keeps Pedialyte, and I was thinking, hey, go get some Pedialyte and drink it. But I also forgot that my wife ordered some liquid IV packets. You take the little packet and you dump it in a bottle of water. I told my mother, I said, go drink 2 of them to get your electrolytes back up. I forgot about the liquid IVs, and she put 2 packs into 1 water. Now, how in the world did she muscle through drinking that? That had to be the sweetest, bitter, like 2 of them liquid IVs and 1 bottle of water. That had to be the nastiest thing. But she did call me that afternoon. She was like, man, I gotta jump. It really picked me up. I'm like, I'm sure it did. So I need to be more clearer on what I told her to do. Jeff says, getting a new John Deere tractor mower delivered tomorrow. Heck yeah, Jeff. So drink Gatorade, it has electrolytes. Correct. So they had different Gatorades and Pedialyte. Now, obviously, she may be a little bit older. Let's just be on the safe side, saying a little bit older. Older people, and some people, are diabetics. So Gatorade has a lot of sugar in it. And with the liquid IV packs that I was originally talking about, it was on the diabetic lower scale. Now, granted, when you put 2 of them in there, it probably was just like a Gatorade. But there are, and I don't know if you have a QT out there where you live. Now, I did see QTs when I was going out to Texas. QTs were all the way out in Texas, or at least getting into Texas. I remember seeing QTs on my trip well into the south. They keep Gatorade and the Pedialytes in the cold section at all times. And they have a Pedialyte low sugar, for diabetic people that can still get the hydration. They can get hydrated while they're working and not have to mess with Gatorade. But definitely, Gatorade was created for football players. So what kind of John Deere you getting? What size horsepower? How big mower? What kind of mower? We got questions. Is this like a bush hog? Is it a finished mower? Or is it a fail mower? So y'all got the QTs there too. I see these fell type mowers. That's usually what we see a lot of around here for DOT, and that's the chain spinning to cut the grass. So if it hits something, it ain't throwing it out like a blade. My bush hog is a big blade. It is, it's a bush hog brand, and you hit something and it's gonna sling it out the back. I always wondered how them fell type mowers work. A S180. Let's see what a S180 is. Let's see. He did say it was a John Deere. I don't think that's what that looks like. Getting a John Deere mower. Oh, okay. I was thinking bigger. That could be exactly what you were talking about. Let me throw that up there. Hey, look, I can finally figure out how to get the left screen to work. Is that what you're talking about, Jeff? You got you a new riding lawnmower. I was thinking like big tractor, like 50, 60 horsepower. Push a little snow. Man, that's not going to rust before it pushed snow out this way. We got very little snow this year. I mean, very little. Hey, but we tripled or quadrupled the amount of snow that we got the year before, because we didn't get zero the year before. Nothing runs like a deer. But back in my younger days, we had a John Deere, and the hood was metal. And I may or may not have ran it into a tree and dented the hood by accident. I don't even know how old I was. Probably 8, maybe 10. I don't think I was over 12. We were on a hill in the front yard. We were hauling railroad ties in the back of the lawnmower, and I was going downhill. And I think I was in, like, we'll just say third gear. And it was going slow. And I thought it was a little too slow, so I went to push in the clutch with all the weight behind me. And it picked up momentum. And then when I dropped the clutch back out to attempt to slow down, it then jackknifed the lawnmower. And the trailer with the railroad ties pushed it into the tree. And I remember that like it was yesterday. And I thought more that my father was going to kill me, because we did not grow up very rich. We were very poor. And this John Deere cost a lot of money. And it now had a big old dent in the hood. Like, not like a dent. It looked like it was U-shaped. I don't remember him being mad at me. I'm pretty sure he probably was upset. But I kind of remember the whole well, did you learn anything kind of moment of. That was one of them life lessons that, you tell somebody, and until they push in the clutch and it jackknifes and then pushes them, that's one of them things that 35, 40 years later, I still remember it. So it is definitely, it definitely stuck with me. But yes, we had one of them John Deeres that had the metal hood, and yeah. Honestly, Jeff, I honestly don't even remember if I got a whooping or not. I think he knew it was 100% an accident. For some reason, like I said, this has been, golly, 35 plus years ago. I remember him getting the hood fixed, but I think he got it off another John Deere or something. But, you know, their hoods are now plastic. So, yeah. That was the story of the John Deere 30 years ago. So what size deck did you get? Let's see. What'd you say? No small yard. That's true. My own comment said he was more scared that I got hurt, and you know, looking back, you think it may have went faster than it was going. I don't know, but I know that I was jackknifing that old buggy behind me that had railroad ties in it was pushing pretty good. So yeah. So, Jeff, how big of a deck did you get? So, Jeff, this is now granted this is a newer model than what I got, but this is what I got. I got the Hustler Super Z. Um, I got the Hustler Super Z. Mine is going on 17, 18 years old. I've had my Hustler Super Z for at least 18 years. And other than this drive motor on the, what I would call driver's side, but the left side, could be the right side, depending on which side you're looking at it. But this side that I'm moving my mouse on, other than that, knock on boat and cardboard, and if this is even wood, it's been one heck of a motor. The motor's been good. The lawnmower's been good. Mine is 66 inches, and it takes me 3 hours to cut grass. And, I mean, it is flying. Supposedly, the Super Zs are the fastest on the market. And it says up here it can cut at 14 miles per hour. And I promise you, it can cut at 14 miles per hour as long as there's no hole in the yard, because this lawnmower does not have suspension. And the only suspension it has is this tire and the air ride seat and your kidney. Because if you hit a pothole in your yard going at that speed, it literally feels like Chuck Norris jumps out of the ground and kidney punches you. For the most part, I've filled most of them holes up. And most of the holes have came from, you know, trees where we bulldozed them down for, you know, building the house. Yeah, so your gaming part uses Hustlers. Man, I'm telling you, Hustlers, I don't know about the new ones, but mine's fuel injected, so it don't have no choke on it. You go out there in the summertime, wintertime, it don't matter. It's going to fire up, and it is very fuel efficient. I'm talking about very fuel efficient. Great Danes are good. Bobcat, the green Bobcats are good. Scag, man, a lot of people around here run a lot of Skags. Scag is, I've had a Scag. I had a walk behind Scag that about to try to kill me. Let me pull up that Scag. So what happened was I was using a Scag light right here. So let me pull it back up. So I was using one of these. So like I said, when my pump went out, I had a backup, I think it's 48-inch walk behind, which has the little dolly where you can get on the little dolly and ride. Let me find the one with the little dolly. Them people right here. So here's the little dolly. You just stand on it, and that way you don't have to ride. Like I said, it takes me 3 hours to cut grass on a 66-inch lawnmower. So while they were replacing the drive motor, this is what I had to cut with. And I was going at a really good speed because it is basically these lawnmowers have a transmission out of a regular riding lawnmower. There's two types of walk behinds. Scag is known for, the model I had probably was an 80s model. The part that broke on it was the exact same part of the new ones. They do not change their models. If you're looking for an old lawnmower and you see a Scag, guarantee you the part number is probably the exact same part number today. So they make two models. They make the one with a transmission that would be a shifter that you would change, kind of like the old-fashioned lawnmowers, and then they got the hydrostatic. This one uses this lever and this pulley right here. When you squeeze the lever, it releases the tension of the belt and allows the other side to turn. That's basically how it works. But anyway, I was going wide open, and a regular lawnmower, you got a mower deck. You can push the deck up. You see a limb, you see a stump, you see something, you push the deck up with your foot. A walk behind, if you're riding, you're going to push down. You're going to use your weight to lift the front up. Well, I wasn't used to using this walk behind because, like I said, I bought it for a spare. And I was going wide open, and I hit a root, and the lawnmower came to a safe and complete stop, and the rider did not come to a safe and complete stop. The rider went over the handlebars on top of the motor and flipped over the whole lawnmower. So to this day, I always say that lawnmower tried to kill me. It's funny now, but it was not funny because, like I said, I'm holding the handlebars like this, and next thing I know, I feel like a motorcycle rider and went over the handlebars. And after I got my lawnmower back, I sold that, and I actually have a different backup now. And that was fun times. So if you ever get a walk behind, always be prepared to go over the handlebars like a motorcycle. Just saying. Just as I will get the trailer and snow blade for it soon. A little at a time as it goes. Yeah. I wouldn't even know how to put a snow blade on. I mean, it'd be we get hardly no snow. Dude, I don't know. I tried to take myself out with the John Deere. The Scag got me. There's plenty of times, in my life that, you look back and you be like, man, why do I hurt when it rains? Yeah, them are the reason why I hurt when it rains. Them are the reasons I take ibuprofen. There's many times. It's crazy. I coming from, years ago, being a firefighter and an EMT for EMS, our bodies are super, super fragile. Like a virus, take you out, gone. Our bodies are so super fragile, but also on the other side, it's amazing that we still survive. You see people flipping, you see them taking all kind of falls and then just bounce right back up. It's crazy. How did, again, I try not to get too biblical on the channel. I try to keep it mostly hunting and outdoors and stuff like that. But some people never look at it and be like, how in the world there ain't no God, there ain't no whatever. And I'm like, how in the world is this 20-pound watermelon of my head being supported by my neck? And, you know, something bit me here, and how does my skin regrow? And, like, how does the garden grow? I mean, there's, you know, I just don't understand how people sometimes don't believe anything. But, yeah, our bodies are very delicate, and it's crazy how complex they are, and how much we can abuse them and pay for them when we get in our 40s and our 50s. Yeah, four-wheelers. You know, the funny part, though, is 20 years ago. We're just going to say 20 years. So let's just go back to the 2000s. In 2000s, we did not have this. We did have a cell phone. I did get my first cell phone when I started driving, 97, 98, something like that. And it was with Alltel, and I think I got like 15 minutes for a whole month. And if you talked after 9 o'clock, it was free. So, you know, everybody talked on cell phones after 9 o'clock. But, you know, there was no videos of us doing stupid stuff like GoPros and YouTube. You know, like my son, he'll be like, what did y'all have YouTube? I'm like, son, YouTube didn't come around till like 2006, 2009. Like, I think YouTube was 2009. I'm pretty sure. So when did YouTube come out? I think it's 2009. 2005, early 2006. So, you know, there was nothing. We didn't have no cameras, and what cameras we did get finally was the Motorola. What was that Motorola? It came after the StarTAC. Oh man, everybody had them. Man, I can't remember what that was. It came after. It was a flip, and I know as soon as I see it, that's it right there. What is that? The Razor. You know, up till the Razor, we really couldn't even take photos, you know. Nokia tried to give us a phone that would never die. Nokia's, I think, could be shot to the moon and come back and still work. The StarTACs, oh my gosh, the Motorola StarTAC, you could break the antenna off, get another antenna, and keep on going. But, you know, I remember getting my first smartphone somewhere around 2008, 2009. I was working for a state agency, and they had a BlackBerry enterprise server that I maintained, and that's when I got my first BlackBerry. And some people will call them crackberries. But that was basically when we just got the internet, like YouTube was going. You know, imagine how many... all right, Jeff, think about it. How cool would it have been to have pictures and videos of high school days? Like, I like when we were cruising uptown, you know, there's so many friends I would love to have pictures with. The pictures that we took, you would have had to fan them to get them to show up. But, you know, kids these days, man, they constantly, and that's a bad thing too. You can't go nowhere without getting recorded. How many times did we ride four-wheelers down dirt roads, which is no longer dirt roads, so that means statute of limitations has already gone way past. So, you know, you can't come back and get me for riding four-wheelers on the dirt roads. But man, yeah, I mean, so much stuff that, you know, how funny would it have been to see me going down the hill on the lawnmower? After the fact I didn't die, probably pretty funny. How funny would it have been me flipping over the handlebars on that lawnmower? Pretty funny. The day that I went to go shoot a squirrel in the backyard with my grandpa's side by side shotgun, and I accidentally pulled both triggers at the same time, and it about knocked me down and break my finger. That would have been funny. There's a lot of funny moments if we could ever just get them on video. Handheld rotary phones tell me to call me. Hey, we had a rotary phone. You know, we had the one phone in the hallway that had enough bungee that you could go from one end to the house to the other end of the house. So, yeah. My mom wrote flying bites. Yeah, I got a couple broke bones thinking I was Evel Knievel. And I feel them. You know, I also feel them today when the rain is about 2 days out and the pressure changes. I feel it in my arms and my hands. So, you know, I try to tell that to my son, like, you know, don't do stupid stuff because you're going to feel that when you get 40. But, all right, like I said, I'm glad y'all came in. New program, if you missed it. I'm using a new program, so Jay, if you're still on, the next time you come on, you may be using a different program that I've not 100% mastered yet. But hey, that's exactly right, Jeff. You're going to be dumb, you're going to be tough. You know, sometimes, you know, I 100% believe that I got guardian angels. Everybody I feel has guardian angels. And, you know, sometimes I wonder, you know, like, does God look down and be like, what is he thinking? Somebody go help that crazy joker out. Like, you know that guardian angel's like, sometimes got a moment like that, you know. I'm sure I took out a couple of them over the years, for sure. For sure. I wonder what this add to broadcast means. I didn't even notice this. I wonder what add to broadcast does. So, it adds it to the side. Okay, now we know. Like I said, filling stuff out. Hey, like I said, we're all learning here, but. The main reason I'm using new software, there's two main reasons. One, I was using a Windows computer, and now I'm using a Mac. I had a Mac streaming the deer camera and my new camera, my new YouTube channel, which is SC for South Carolina, and it's Rain Beats. It's mostly for nighttime, sleeping, white noise, rain. There's no ads. It's just sounds. Both of them stream at the exact same time, and I have them on a Mac Mini that I've been using because the Mac can stream two separate YouTube channels at the same time in higher definition than two standalone computers. And so I changed out the computer in the boat, which you can't see, but I changed the computer out in the boat. And the company that I use to stream with is called StreamYard. They went up $200 a year on their fees, or is going up $200 next month when mine renews. And personally, you can't see the boat desk. That's true. There you go. The boat desk is here. The computer is actually in the front. But they're going up $200 on my subscription fee. And you know, this is not a award-winning YouTube channel. We are definitely on a budget, or the wife says I'm on a budget. I'm not rightly sure, but somewhere down the road, there's keywords that get thrown around that there's something about a budget. I'm not rightly sure what she's talking about, but so I am experimenting with new software that puts it back in the price range that I'm currently doing. And one thing about the software that I really liked about the one I was using was I can invite guests on by simply clicking a link, and the person would click it, and it was just simple. I never had a guest say, hey, I can't figure this out. I mean, it worked with iPhones. It works with iPads. I mean, it just worked. Simple. And after, like tonight, after I finish this video, I would then strip the audio off, and that becomes a podcast, because on Spotify, iHeart, Pandora, Apple, Google, YouTube, all of them have podcasts where you can listen just to the audio of this. So I needed all these features. This new software has most of them features. Up till, playing around, like I literally just started playing around with it. And up till, about an hour before I went live, I didn't know how to send out invites, and I was playing around with it earlier with my wife and figured it out. So it's new. It is definitely new. It has got a lot of bells and a lot of whistles. There's definitely a lot going on. And like I said, I really need to get a video of how all this works. Like I said, there's three monitors. The main reason with the computer was it was a Windows computer, and not that you can see, but there's 3 computer screens that I'm currently looking at. Obviously, y'all see these 2, but in front of me is a bigger screen, and that allows me to look up and see, I can switch camera views, and when I look up, I see the screen is basically, hey, dummy, look over here, kind of like mentality. Really, that's all that screen is for, is a heads up for me. But that screen took so much power from the computer, the graphics card would go crazy. Like it took a massive amount of video graphics, and the computer was just running way too hard. Now, man, this Mac Mini, and then when I say it's a Mac Mini, I mean it is a Mac Mini. It is running at 30%. I got 3 screens running. I'm processing this video, audio, streaming, and it's running at 30%. I mean, it blows my mind. And here's the box. This is the box that the computer comes in. I mean, it's a Mac Mini, and literally, when I say this is the box, so this is the lid, and that's when it's closed, the Mac Mini fits up here in the top, because the cord to the power is up under there. So the Mini is here, and the box closes. That tells you how little that computer is. It is super, super little, and man, I'm telling you, and what I really tried to do is I'm really trying to get the graphics to look better after it's streaming. I really want, right now, like I said, I try not to get too technical also, but you got 720 is decent. Yeah, you got 1080. Right now, I'm trying to stream at 1440, which is pretty high for streaming, especially over cable modem. And I'm trying, most of y'all is currently watching on YouTube, because when you comment, it puts the YouTube logo. But it's also streaming on Facebook. So it is streaming to 2 different locations at the same time. And if somebody comments on Facebook, I can see that and reply back and forth. So there is a whole lot going on in the background. So, so far I like it. I got to get a guest on. So we'll see how that works out. But like I said, their StreamYard is going up on their prices, and yeah, I'm not down for the extra $200 when I've been paying a fee for 2 years at the exact same thing, and you haven't gave me anything new. Like, nothing new. Now, granted, I do know times are changing. Things are cost a little different, but you didn't give me nothing new. The streaming worked. It's just not. It's grainy sometimes. So, like I said, I'm really waiting to see after hitting record tonight how that worked out. If you came in early, I was on Wi-Fi and I forgot to switch over to the hard line, the network cable. So towards the end there, I did switch over and I didn't lose anybody. So I would like to compare, the quality and the voice. Like, does my voice match my mouth and all that stuff? So y'all are my guinea pigs. And so thank you for being my guinea pigs. So how's mommy's little piggy like to eat? And if you know that reference, you're also old like me and you watched the Christmas Story. So, and we're almost halfway in the year. So before too much longer, the Christmas Story will be back on TV and y'all will see how mommy's little piggy eats. So, hi, remember tomorrow, girls play softball. Starting to be about that time. I picked who I was going with. I picked Texas and Arkansas, and Texas lost miserably. So that leaves me technically with Arkansas to win the whole thing. And we shall see. I really enjoy watching ladies softball because, man, throwing underhand fast pitch at 70, 75 miles per hour blows my mind. And I mean, the amount of home runs that they are hitting this year compared to years before is unreal. The game of softball has definitely changed. I mean, it's just like all other sports, talent gets better and better and better, and these teams keep picking them up. I like softball in general, but yeah, I enjoy watching it. And maybe my South Carolina ladies do something. We're not holding on to that one too much, but Nebraska, yeah, is still in it. I had that pulled up earlier, Jeff. I had them all pulled up. But yeah, they're going into the final stretch. It's coming up. Like I said, we'll be talking about college boys baseball soon too, because there ain't no other sport on. I used to love NASCAR. NASCAR went so woke and it's so boring. I mean, it's basically drafting and wait till the last 2 laps to pass somebody and be like, oh my gosh, I hit a fly and I lost my aerodynamics. But I did watch the All-Star race, and which was in North Wilkesboro, which is probably an hour and a half from me. It's not that very far. Great small town track. I love watching the races that's still on short tracks. I love super late models, definitely. But when NASCAR goes to these big tracks, Atlanta, Charlotte, Texas, Vegas, Talladega, it's just kind of boring. So I get ready for my sports, and football, college football ain't too far around there. And I haven't seen Jay talk in a while, so my Gamecocks is going to be his Georgia Bulldogs this year, and they're going to beat them pretty bad. But since he can't defend himself, I'm going to talk smack because we didn't do too good last year against some Georgia Bulldogs, but maybe he fell asleep. He didn't hear me. But all right, well, y'all have a good rest of the week. Have a good, safe Memorial Day. Be safe. Like I said, there is still some chances of storms Saturday, Sunday, going into Monday. So depending on where y'all at, stay safe. I definitely have my sponsors video here. So we're going to play the word from our sponsors. Y'all stay safe, and I'll see y'all next week at 8 o'clock. See y'all. Matthew Knight with Satura Investors out of Charlotte. There's the information. The link to his website is scrolling across the banner down at the bottom, and it's also in the description. Today's episode is about helping business owners and working professionals like you who share a passion for the outdoors, shooting sports, zeroing them in to their long-term financial goals. So if you need any information or contact or any other questions, contact Matthew. Also, go check out Salt Creek Ammo. This triple curl TSS is some of the best TSS I have ever shot. This is for waterfowl edition. It's made for waterfowl. So if you're going to shoot a species that you've been chasing for a long time, don't use no cheap ammo. You pay good money to go on a trip. You got great guns. Don't cheap out on cheap ammunition. This TSS is amazing. It's got number 7s, number 8s, and he has number 9s. So go check out saltcreekammo.com. Here you will find any kind of ammo you're looking for. He has custom loads, TSS in 10 gauge, 12 gauge, 20 gauge, low pressure ammunition. You got Predator ammunition, turkey ammunition, anything you're looking for, give Keith a call. Also to the channel, Kicks Industries, most people will know them as Kick Chokes, has came on board, and I have done a bunch of series lately on waterfowl choke tubes, turkey choke tubes, deer choke tubes. So go check out Kick's website for all of the chokes that can fit your guns. Flint Ridge Hauling Service, LLC, has partnered up with the channel. It is your go-to provider for all your hauling needs. They are not just any hauling service. They are an active DOT interstate hotshot hauling provider. Flint Ridge Service, LLC, prides itself in its reliable transportation services. This team ensures that your cargo is delivered safely and on time no matter the distance. Whether you need to transport goods across the county or state line, they have the capacity and the expertise to meet your hauling needs. Equipped with a smooth riding 40-foot air ride equipped trailer and a max hauling capacity of 20,000 pounds, there's no load too big or too small that they can't handle. Look no further than Flint Ridge Hauling Service, LLC.